I will say this. I heard about his ex, and him was so serious that he may have missed her.
You're such a young up-and-comer. Everyone's curious about you and your life, who you're dating, what you're all about.
Oh, yeah.
So what's going on there? What's going on in that department?
I'm being humble with it. I'm being private. I'm putting...
Right after that, I went through my very first public breakup. Now, most people after a breakup are like, I'm gonna get in better shape. But I was already in Creed shape. So I had to be like, all right, I guess I'll learn a new language. Anyway, estoy en raya. After the breakup, everyone thought I was so heartbroken because when the news came out, I was at a basketball game and they caught me looking like this.
Things just took a sharp turn in this whole situation, and now people are really starting to look at Damson Idris and Lori Harvey a little differently. So here's what's being said. Damson is finally speaking up after all this noise about Lori possibly trying to slide back into Michael B. Jordan. Now, speaking on that win, Michael B. Jordan just secured his first Oscar for Best Actor, which is a huge deal. That's not something small. That's history being made. He became one of only a few Black actors to ever reach that level. And of course, the entire industry started showing love.
You're such a young up-and-comer. Everyone's curious about you and your life, who you're dating, what you're all about.
Oh, yeah.
So what's going on there? What's going on in that department?
I'm being humble with it. I'm being private. I'm putting the career and that in separate worlds. It's hard to navigate it today.
How do you do that? Because honestly, I mean, look, this is how it goes. You know, you go on a show, you talk about your project, but everyone's like...
Naturally, messages of support started pouring in from everywhere. Celebrities, fans, insiders, everybody had something positive to say about his achievement. But the one name nobody expected to pop up in that conversation, Lori Harvey. And that's where things get even more interesting, because let's not forget how their breakup played out. It wasn't quiet, it wasn't smooth, and it definitely didn't seem friendly. There were reports that Lori and even Marjorie Harvey had a lot to say after things ended, and none of it sounded supportive. So now people are confused, because how do you go from that energy to suddenly trying to reach out like everything is cool again? That switch up is exactly why people are side-eyeing this whole situation. Even more, folks are bringing up how she reacted before when Steve Harvey was seen being friendly with Michael at a basketball game. At the time, it didn't seem like she was okay with that at all.
I gotta be real careful, because Lori, boy, she be in my... I can't make no mistakes. I can't make sense. I saw one of her exes somewhere at a game somewhere, and I shook his hand. Boy, I can't even touch his no more. I better not acknowledge him or look at him or nothing no more. So I'm off limits. If you are ex, your ex is my ex too. That's the rule. The rule in our house is any boy that's an ex, he's now my ex too.
So now, seeing her possibly trying to reconnect herself, it's raising a lot of questions. From what's being said, Lori didn't just try once either. There are talks that she attempted to contact him multiple times right after the Oscar moment, and each time, nothing. No reply, no acknowledgement, just silence. And it didn't stop there. Word is Michael took it a step further and made sure his team blocked any direct access to him right away. That move alone is what really got people talking, because it sends a very clear message without even saying a word. To me, that looks like someone who's fully moved on and not trying to revisit anything from the past. No drama, no back and forth, just distance. Meanwhile, all of this is putting a spotlight right back on Lori and Damson's relationship, because now people are watching closely, wondering how he's reacting behind the scenes. And with Damson now speaking out in his own way, it's clear he's not just ignoring the situation. At the end of the day, none of this is officially confirmed step by step, but the way everything is lining up, it's definitely got people talking. And right now, the biggest question floating around is simple. Was this just a harmless attempt at congratulations, or something way deeper that didn't go as planned? This whole situation hit social media fast, and once it did, people did not hold back at all. The reactions came in heavy, and a lot of it was straight up criticism aimed at Lori Harvey. From what I'm seeing, a lot of people online started questioning her moves, especially with everything going on around Michael B. Jordan's Oscar win. Some were even saying things like, he's winning big and suddenly now she wants to reach out. And that kind of commentary just kept spreading. There were also takes going around claiming that Michael might have made mistakes in the relationship before and that he lost someone valuable. But at the same time, others flipped that completely and said if he's ignoring her now, there's probably a reason behind it. So the opinions, completely split and honestly, kind of messy. Now here's where it gets more interesting. While all this celebration was happening around Michael's big moment, it's being said Lori was trying to reach out with calls and messages to congratulate him.
She wasn't ready, because when a woman finds a good one, then that's what you're looking for. But I will say that she's young still, you know what I mean? And I too was looking forward to them making it, because I thought, oh, you know what? She's been looking for someone to keep on her arm, to be able to have a relationship with that is meaningful and is successful, because we know that the girl gonna keep her somebody that is gonna be newsworthy, you know. But I think,
damn, Lisa, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, she ain't no joke. She ain't. And her mama, Marjorie, my girlfriend, she gonna make sure that she doing and navigating the right way, because she gonna make sure that she is. And I think every mother should do that, you know. But I think at the same time, she's young. I think the established relationship that Michael did have before this one, I think that maybe that social media, that all of that was a lot for him. And I think that he, you know, I heard about his ex, and him was so serious that he may have missed.
Listen to me when I talk, like even, you know, the other day I just been saying I really wanted to go to a farmer's market. And so he like called me one morning, like Sunday morning. He was like, what are you doing? Get dressed, I'm about to come pick you up. And he like took me an hour away.
But according to what's being discussed, none of those attempts got any response. And that silence, people are reading into it heavily, because instead of it looking like a simple congrats, it's being interpreted as something deeper. Like maybe she was trying to reopen a door that's already been closed. At the same time, you've got other names being brought into the conversation too, like Kim Kardashian, with people joking that even she's been making moves while all this is going on. Whether that's serious or just internet talk, it definitely added more noise to an already loud situation. From my point of view, it really seems like Lori might have thought this Oscar win could be a moment to reconnect, or at least smooth things over. But clearly, Michael isn't on that timing at all. Everything about his response or lack of response points to him keeping his distance and staying focused. And then, right when the conversation was already heating up, things got even messier. Because someone connected to Lori reportedly started leaking information to blogs claiming she's been trying to contact Michael repeatedly since his big win. Now, whether that leak was intentional or not, it definitely didn't help her image. If anything, it made the situation look more desperate in the eyes of the public, even if that might not be the full story. What's even more surprising is that people are saying those attempts didn't just start after the Oscar. There's talk that she had been trying to reach out even before that moment, and still, nothing. No callbacks, no replies, just complete silence from Michael's side. To me, that says a lot without saying anything directly. It gives the impression that he's fully moved on and not trying to revisit the past at all. And that's what makes this whole thing hit even harder, because if you look back at how their breakup played out, the energy was completely different. At the time, Lori seemed like she had the upper hand. There were stories circulating, and both her and Marjorie Harvey were being accused of putting certain narratives out there about Michael.
Remember that you are the prize.
Yeah,
I'm the prize. What does that mean?
It just means not compromising like my values, my happiness, my peace, not settling for less than what I know I deserve, and not being afraid to walk away from the situation if it's like no longer serving me.
Yo, shut up. Imagine calling yourself the prize of you dating Future, baby. That's why I always tell my young G's, their past matters. The type of men that they used to date and they past matters. Imagine saying that I just will never compromise my expectation. Meanwhile, you getting your back twisted and rearranged by a dude like Future.
Steve Harvey has called out Lori Harvey for saying that women should leave a good man to find the one. The internet is in a massive argument after Lori showed her support for a TikTok video made by Amani. In the video, Amani talked about leaving a partner who was great, but ultimately not the right person for marriage. Amani argued that having high standards means you have to eliminate most of your options to find the one. She believes it is necessary to leave a comfortable situation if that person is not your husband. Lori saw the video and decided to chime in with her support. She said, "You ain't wrong, congratulations." Lori is already well known for her unapologetic approach to dating and for moving on from situations that no longer serve her. People are divided over the message. Some fans think it is empowering for women to have such high standards and wait for the perfect partner. Others think Lori is completely wrong and this type of mindset is not okay to have. During all this, Steve has spoken out about Lori backing the viral take on not settling in relationships. Underneath the post about it, Steve left a comment. In his comment, he wrote, "Lori, this is very bad advice. Fans feel that Steve is trying to look out for his daughter by reminding her that a good partner is hard to find. He disagrees with the message of the video and wants to warn others about letting a great relationship go." But before you go, I want to know, do you think Lori is in the wrong here?
One of the biggest claims that stuck was the idea that he had certain preferences in dating that didn't align with how things were being presented publicly. And since Michael never really addressed those rumors directly, they just stayed in the conversation for a long time. Then came the social media moments that people still remember. Marjorie posted a clip of Jennifer Lewis saying, "If you sit in something too long, it stops smelling. So come out of there." And a lot of folks took that as subtle shade. And right after that, Lori added her own layer to it. She posted an image of a license plate that read, "Dump him," which people immediately connected back to her breakup with Michael. That alone had people talking, but she didn't stop there. In a later interview, she spoke about wanting certain standards in a partner and building a future with the right kind of person. And again, people linked that back to Michael. What makes it all stand out even more is how different that tone was compared to when they were actually together. Because back then, everything seemed way more positive and aligned. So now, with all this new attention and these reported attempts to reconnect, people are looking at the situation from a completely different angle. It's like the past statements, the social media posts, and the current actions are all being compared side by side. And honestly, that contrast is exactly why this whole situation keeps getting more attention.
Why do y'all think Damson Idris and Lori Harvey was like doing a scene? Like on that like video clip of them kissing in the freaking window or whatever they was on balcony. I think they was in Paris. Like, why do y'all think that was like y'all talking about they acting and this, that, and third? They ain't see the people down there. This. You ain't never been in an argument with your man and he was chewing your ass up. And I don't give a F about, like, a lot of girls don't care, like, about who looking or who watching when your man's tearing your ass up. He was winning the argument in that moment. Okay, you could tell he was cussing her ass out. He was cussing her ass out. She pissed him off in some type of way. I don't know what she did. But all in all, he ain't going nowhere. He ain't going nowhere. Because basically, she's like, you talking too much and you getting on my damn nerves. And I don't even see what we arguing about for real. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal to me. Apparently, it is to you, but to me, it's not. And I'm going to need for you to shut up. So I'm going to shut you up. I'm going to just kiss you. And I'm going to remind you that you ain't going nowhere. That's literally what it gave. It literally what it gave. You telling me you ain't never been arguing with your man? Like, literally, you just stopping in traffic to text. You literally just walking, stop abruptly, like, oh, he got me messed up. Going crazy on the text messages. Pulled over on the side of the road if you was driving just to respond to his message because you was wild.
Now, here's the part that really has people talking. Because when you look at everything Lori Harvey has said about Michael B. Jordan, it just doesn't fully add up. On one hand, she's had all these criticisms and little comments about him not being the right fit. But on the other hand, she's been linked to multiple high-profile names without hesitation. And that's exactly why people are side-eyeing this whole situation right now. From how I see it, a lot of folks are starting to say Michael might have actually been one of her more serious relationships. And now that he's leveling up in a big way, suddenly there's talk about her trying to circle back. Yeah, people are connecting those dots real fast. There's also been ongoing talk about why they even split in the first place. One of the main things being repeated is that Michael was ready for something more serious, like settling down and building a future, while Lori reportedly felt like she wasn't at that stage yet. And honestly, if that's true, then it makes this situation even more confusing. Because if you walked away from something serious back then, why does it look like you're trying to revisit it now? That's the question people keep asking. Another detail that keeps coming up is how Steve Harvey handled everything. Through all the noise, all the online talk, and all the shade being thrown, he never publicly disrespected Michael at all. In fact, when they crossed paths at a basketball game not too long ago, everything seemed completely calm and respectful. No tension, no awkwardness, just normal conversation and mutual respect. But then, things take a turn again. Because later on, Steve did mention that Lori wasn't too happy about that interaction. There are reports saying she didn't like seeing them still being friendly and even wanted him to distance himself from Michael. And if that's accurate, it adds another layer to everything, because now it starts to look like there were still emotions tied to the situation even after the breakup. Meanwhile, through all of this, Damson Idris had mostly stayed quiet. He wasn't jumping into the drama, wasn't making public comments, just keeping a low profile and minding his business. But now, that silence seems to be shifting a little. Because based on what's being reported, Damson isn't exactly surprised by what's happening. There's talk coming from people around him suggesting he already had his own understanding of Lori before they even got serious. Some are even saying he didn't go into the relationship expecting it to be something long-term, but more so just something casual and fun. Now, I'm not saying that's confirmed, but when you line everything up, it does make people think. Especially when you look at the timeline. Michael and Lori reportedly ended things around mid-2022, and then just a few months later, by the end of that same year, she was already being linked to Damson.
Damson Idris might have done it. He has taken Lori Harvey away from the streets. He has retired her from the game. Now, we all know him from Snowfall, from flipping packs. But now, he has flipped one of the most notorious baddies in the game, Lori Harvey, into a wife. Months ago, everyone thought that these two had broken up, and Lori Harvey had just used Damson Idris and was going to switch him out for someone new. But no, Damson has come and proved all the haters wrong. He has got Lori Harvey to hold him down. And I can't lie, I'm proud of him. He's London born and bred. He's one of our own. And he's bagged himself a baddie that no one else could keep except Future. But still, man, this guy made me so proud. But yeah, congrats to the both of them for still being together and maintaining their strong relationship. But let me know in the comments down below, guys. What do we think of Damson Idris still being together with Lori Harvey? I think it's only a matter of time before a wedding's on the cards.
That quick turnaround is exactly what has people raising eyebrows. Because it didn't take long at all for things to shift from one high-profile relationship to another. And let's not forget how they even connected. The story going around is that they met at a party hosted by Odell Beckham Jr., and not long after that, Damson made his move. To some people, that just feels fast. Like not even half a year passed before a whole new situation started forming. And then in 2023, things between Lori and Damson weren't completely smooth either. There were rumors about a brief split, and now people are even speculating whether Michael's name somehow came back into the picture during that time. Again, nothing fully confirmed, but the timing has people talking. Because every time something shifts in Lori's relationships, Michael's name somehow finds its way back into the conversation. So now, with all these pieces coming together, the past breakup, the reported attempts to reconnect, Damson's reaction, and the timeline, people are looking at the situation from a whole new perspective. And the biggest thing everyone keeps coming back to is this. Was this all just coincidence, or is there a pattern starting to show? Now, this is where everything starts to come together. And honestly, it's not looking too clean for Lori Harvey right now. So here's what's being talked about. Word going around is that Lori may have still been trying to reach out to Michael B. Jordan behind the scenes, and somehow Damson Idris ended up finding out about it. And if that part is even halfway true, yeah, that would explain a lot. Because think about it. When they had that brief split before, neither Lori nor Damson really gave clear details about what went wrong. It was quiet, almost too quiet, like something bigger was being kept off the radar. And now, with all these reports popping up, people are starting to connect the dots. It's making that whole breakup look less random and more like there were already issues building behind the scenes. Now, sure, they did get back together after that, but just because they spun the block doesn't mean everything was magically fixed. From what's being said, Damson may have already known deep down that things between them weren't built to last. And when you look at certain moments, it kind of adds up. For example, people noticed he didn't even bring Lori as his +1 to major events like the Oscars. Now that alone had folks talking, because usually that's the kind of event where couples show up together and make it known. So when that didn't happen, people started wondering, was everything really solid, or were they just going through the motions? Then you add this new layer on top and the idea that Lori might have been reaching out to Michael behind Damson's back, and suddenly everything starts to look way more complicated. Again, none of this is confirmed step by step, but the way it's being discussed, it definitely paints a picture that has people talking. And what really makes it messier is how this reflects on Lori publicly. Because if your current partner is hearing about you trying to contact your ex, that's never going to land well. At the same time, there's also talk that Damson isn't exactly taking this lightly either. Some reports suggest he's been reacting in a way that feels more like distancing himself rather than defending the situation. And that's where people start saying, if your own partner isn't backing you up publicly, that says a lot without needing a full statement. Meanwhile, social media has completely run with this story. And you already know how that goes. Once people get involved, the takes get louder and wilder. I've been seeing comments like, don't be surprised if Lori pops up in Michael's comments soon. And even, she might drop Damson quick now that Michael just leveled up. And while those are just opinions, they show exactly how people are reading this situation. Others are straight up predicting a breakup, saying things like, this isn't going to last much longer, especially with all the pressure and attention surrounding them right now. And honestly, whether that actually happens or not, the perception alone is already doing damage. Because once people start questioning the stability of a relationship, every little move gets analyzed. Every appearance, every post, every interaction, it all gets picked apart. Now, from my point of view, this whole situation feels like a mix of timing, past history, and public perception all colliding at once. You've got Michael on a major high point in his career, Lori being pulled back into conversations about their past, and Damson caught in the middle of all that noise. And when all those things happen at the same time, yeah, it creates exactly the kind of situation we're seeing right now. But at the end of the day, it's important to remember, a lot of this is still based on reports, speculation, and how things look from the outside. None of us are in those private conversations. Still, the way everything is lining up has definitely got people paying attention. And right now, all eyes are on what happens next between Lori and Damson. So now I'm passing it to you. What do you think about all this? Do you feel like Damson really is over the situation, or is this just being blown up bigger than it actually is? And do you think this relationship is going to last, or are people right about it possibly falling apart? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this one right here has a lot of different angles. And if you made it this far, make sure you hit that like button, share this video with someone who's been following this situation, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of these updates. Also, check out the next video popping up on your screen right now. It dives even deeper into more celebrity drama and situations just like this. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. I'll catch you in the next one.